Most people completely misunderstand consistency. At least that's my opinion. Consistency isn't about doing something every day. It's about making sure everything moves along. My favorite saying for this is pushing the pucks. A lot of people, including myself, used to think of consistency as a scale of habits and doing something every day. And what would happen is, you'd read these self-improvement books and topics. You would think you need to stack all these habits to be able to become successful and productive. So what you would do is you would stack, a gratitude journal, affirmations, waking up at 4:30 a.m., reading, one book every week. Things like that just build up and they just increase your habit scale. And I think that's where most people get overwhelmed. Along with me, you look at like this giant list of things you need to do and you just easily get overwhelmed. And that was like, I have a big problem of overthinking or overanalyzing things. And when I have a giant list of things I need to do in front of me, it freaks me out and then I eventually do none of them. It's kind of like sprinting instead of jogging. People have this idea where they need to be sprinting all the time and they'll achieve their goals faster, but then they'll get tired out and then they'll stop, and it would have been better if they just were jogging at a slow pace. It's the classic slow and steady. And I see so many people get sucked into these habits and these crazy, long morning routines or night routines, and it just kills their consistency. I think of consistency as momentum, not volume. Everything in my life is surrounded by pushing it forward, something moving forward, not about how fast it can be pushed. I think of consistency as pushing the pucks. And I heard this from a really wise man named Russ, who is actually my patent attorney. And I could never put it into words of what my idea of making sure everything is moving was called until he told me that he was saying that you need to keep pushing the pucks. And that really stuck with me. So that's my motto for like day to day going forward, is you have to push the pucks forward. And to clarify on that, each piece of your life that you're trying to improve, whether that is fitness, your sleep, your product, your business, your social media, those are all individual pucks. And whether that is, every day or week or month you touch, different ones, you have to always keep nudging them forward. Whether that be, you push one day, but you push the next one every month. That's the idea, is you can't leave any behind. And as long as you stick in your head that you need to keep these moving forward at any cost, not just, I need to do 1,000 things. Some are going to stay there for a while. Some might sit there for a month and then you push it a little more. Some things you're working on might be pushed every day because it's one of your main goals. And then others might be pushed yearly, like an extremely long goal that you have that might take 10 to 20 years. The key behind all of this pushing the pucks is to make sure none get left behind and die. It's like a cactus. You can water that thing every once a month and it will stay alive. But if you stop caring about it completely and then you come back to it a year later, it's going to be dead. This way of thinking is going to remove like analysis paralysis. You won't get overwhelmed, and it makes everything in life a lot more achievable. If you have a small goal, you can keep pushing that puck, even just 1%, and it will make you feel like you can accomplish the world after a year, because all these little steps really build momentum and get you going and working harder than ever. And even if you get behind on one project, you want to make sure you touch it at least a little. Put one drop of water in there, because it's harder to restart something completely than just re-steer it back on track. So if you ever forget about something or you're feeling behind, if your thing's social media and you're feeling like you haven't posted a video in 6 months, so you feel like you can't post one now because you missed 6 months already and you're supposed to post one every week. Well, now you're gonna keep saying that until it's 2 years later, when you could have just posted the video after 6 months and started from there. And even then, a lot of people watching this video will still quit after seeing this new ideology, because you want big wins and big moves when you can't get there without 1,000 small moves. Especially something boring, like you need to edit some things on your website that you've been holding off for 2 weeks. And they mistake slow movement for failure. Those do not mean the same thing at all. This is going to apply to every aspect of your life. If you are in the gym, you need to make sure you're at least touching part of your goals each day, no matter how small it is. For example, if you're trying to grow muscle in the gym, if you missed your whole workout today and you are feeling down, instead of feeling shitty and not working out at all, get on the ground and do 100 push-ups. Even though it might not do anything crazy to work towards your goal, it's the consistency and the effort you put in to keep it rolling. Now the next day, you're gonna feel good that you went and did those push-ups instead of just giving up completely, and you're gonna be ready to hit the next workout even harder. One of the biggest points with consistency is it means never letting something slow down. Consistency is at the root of making sure nothing stalls. Just keep things moving. And no one needs a perfect day. You might have a perfect day once or twice a year, or even less than that, but everyone needs a moving forward day. No matter what you do, as long as you move things forward, I would call that a successful day. If you made sure you moved all the pucks in the week, that is a extremely good week. I would strongly urge you to write down the 5 to top 10 things in your life that you are trying to work on the most and improve and keep moving forward, and then put that on a whiteboard or somewhere where you can look at it every day, and just make sure none of those sit there for too long without stalling out. So I put fitness, I put social media, I put my business, I put my sleep schedule, and I put my diet. I have a few more things in that, but as an example, I make sure those 5 things are always being pushed a little bit, because I know if I don't push any at all, I will never reach where I want to go with that. But even if I give 1% every day, it builds up an insane amount. And I really hope this video helps someone out there. And just the main thing I want to put out there is consistency is moving things forward. Consistency is such on a pedestal that people get freaked out by saying, you know, I'm not consistent because I missed one post on Instagram today, and then they give up. The main thing about consistency to me is making sure that you're consistent with your efforts to reach your goals. And that's why I think most people completely misunderstand consistency.